Grizzle the Hedgehog who didn't like hugs. In the Bois-Joli forest, where the leaves sing with the wind and fireflies dance at dusk, lived a little hedgehog named Grizzle. Grizzle had a secret: he didn't like hugs. While the other animals hugged tightly in the morning, rubbed noses at night, or cuddled after a fall, Grizzle would growl, frown, and show his quills. In the Bois-Joli forest, hugs are almost like an official language. Each species has its own style. Grizzle would watch from a hidden spot. The rabbits? They gently touched nose tips, making a plop-plop sound with their whiskers a plop. Plop. Hee-hee. That tickles. The fox cubs gave quick hugs, like ninjas. A shoulder bump, a nose tap, a quick hop back. Flash hug. Did you feel that? Too fast to get clingy. The chickadees gave airy hugs. They spun in the air, brushed wings gently, then landed on a branch and rubbed their beaks together. Cloud hug activated. The squirrels hugged with their tails. They wrapped them like a scarf around a friend's neck, placed a nut between them, then rubbed noses. Come here. Magic scarf hug. So soft. I'm melting. And the frogs? They jumped on their friends' heads, slid down their backs laughing, and ended by rubbing their cheek on the other's belly. Splash hug surprise. Ouch! Is that a hug or a living slide? Grizzle watched all this from a corner. He rolled his eyes. What a bunch of clingy ones. All that just to stick to each other. But in his little black eyes, there was a tiny glimmer. Maybe of longing? One day, Nini the rabbit came up to him with a big smile. Grizzle. Want a paw kiss? It's brand new, no poking involved. She held out her soft, clean pink paw. Grizzle stared, then turned away. No thanks. I've got a date with a chestnut burr. Very spiky. Very private. He stepped back, feeling awkward, and plop. Fell on his bottom, making Nini and Tilo the fox cub burst out laughing. Grr, that's what I get for being polite. Hugs are for stuffed toys. One morning, in the clearing, Bruma the owl made a special announcement. Today is Bois-Joli's Big Hug Day. Everyone gets a free hug. The animals jumped with joy. Tilo the fox cub did a flip of happiness. Nini brought ribbons for festive hugs. Even the earthworms curled into spirals to make a worm hug. Everyone, except Grizzle. He climbed onto a big rock and watched from afar. Yuck! What a nightmare! He saw the others hugging, laughing, tickling. His nose twitched, from annoyance? Or curiosity? Suddenly, a loud crack, followed by a splash, made everyone jump. Aya, cried a small voice. It was Lolo the dormouse, who had fallen into the pond. He was starting to sink. Without thinking, Grizzle jumped off his rock, ran, grabbed Lolo, and pulled him to the shore. You saved me, Lolo whispered, crying. And then, without warning, he threw himself into a soggy hug with Grizzle. But Grizzle didn't growl. He didn't pull away either. That evening, under the big oak, Bruma came closer. You saved him, you know. That was very brave. Grizzle shrugged. It was automatic. I didn't know that dormouse couldn't swim. Bruma gently asked, Grizzle, why don't you like hugs? He sighed. When I was little, a mother badger mistook me for one of her babies. She squeezed me so hard I thought my quills would fold in. Since then, I'm scared. Bruma nodded. Then she opened one of her big wings, soft as a pillow. Want to try a wing hug? It's soft, not tight. Just a corner. Grizzle stepped closer. Very slowly. He closed his eyes. Bruma laid just the edge of her wing on him. It was warm. Light. Safe. Grizzle breathed deeply and stayed still for a whole minute. The next day, Grizzle got up quietly. He watched the others. Tilo was giving Nini a fox hug. A young field mouse was doing an ear hug. Grizzle walked towards the group. "Hi, Grizzle. Can we say hello with a paw?" asked Nini. "A paw's fine. But gently. And not the fur, it tickles." They tapped paw to paw softly. Little by little, Grizzle invented his own hugs: the half hug, just the shoulder; the back-to-back hug, each looking away; and the leaf hug, a leaf between the two. The others copied him. The clearing became a lab for creative hugging. There was even a spiky hug day with hedgehog costumes, made of paper, of course. Tilo and Nini came up with funny greetings: a leaf salute for Tilo the fox and a flower nose rub for Nini. Grizzle watched the hugs invented just for him. The dormouse offered a nut with a smile, the squirrel waved with his tail, and the ants made a tiny circle dance. Grizzle seemed amused. The heron bowed gracefully, then rubbed his beak against Grizzle's quills, while the baby rabbit sent paw kisses from afar. The animals gathered around Grizzle, each with their own little friendly gesture. Grizzle stood in the middle, happy, as everyone came to hug him. Since that day, Grizzle is no longer the grumpy one. They call him Grizzle the Different Hugger. And in the Bois-Joli forest, everyone knows, even those who are prickly have a heart that beats. And if one day you walk near the old tree trunk, listen closely. You might hear a small giggle rolled up in a ball, waiting for morning and a new day of hugs. I tease Grizzle. And you? What kind of hug would you give me?
Enjoyed the tale? Give us a thumbs up. See you soon.